Hey everybody, how y'all doing today? My name is Tay, and welcome back to my channel, Inspire Me, where I talk about current or relatable topics, all from a godly perspective. And today's topic is called Shh, I'm trying to hear. Prompted me to talk about this. I was reading, go to scripture and reading this chapter. Then God put it in my spirit, like, yeah, you need to talk about this. I'm not gonna read it verbatim, but I'm just gonna give it some conversation. I'm gonna go to scripture. It's actually gonna be Matthew the 15th chapter, verse 22 and 23. Now, it's pretty much a woman came up to Jesus, pretty much crying, saying like, "Help me, Lord. My daughter is severely demon possessed." And the next verse pretty much says Jesus pretty much acted like he didn't hear her, pretended like he didn't hear her, and kept going on by his business. The next verse after that pretty much says that his disciples came up to him and like said, "Send her away, like she balling." I mean, when I first read the verse where it said pretty much Jesus continued with his business like he didn't even hear her, and I'm admit that I was saying to myself like, God, that's a little rude. Like, here this lady is pretty much begging and pleading, saying that her daughter is demon possessed, especially with all these spirits she don't cast out, and you pretty much ignoring. Now, this is not the first scenario where Jesus ignored. I know another one that the woman caught in fornication or adultery, and I think the disciples was pretty much trying to cast stones at her, and it said Jesus continued writing on the ground or something like that, like he didn't even hear them. So yeah, pretty sure it's probably more, but yeah, that's the only ones I remember. So yeah, when I read them, I'm like, God, why you didn't say nothing? Like, say nothing? Like, that's kind of rude. But I'm like, okay, who am I to question God? And I'm pretty sure God did that for a reason. So right when I read the next verse, it's like God said, yeah, and I realized, I'm pretty sure I realized why God did it. You see, with the disciples came to him and said, "Send her away. She bothering us." Now, if Jesus would have immediately spoke and said something to the woman about her daughter, it wouldn't have gave the disciples time to speak what was on their mind. Okay, I'm gonna say, help, my daughter, and then what if Jesus automatically said, okay, I'll heal her? The disciples, they'll see, okay, Jesus, he's trying to, heal, so let me just be quiet. But by him being quiet, he got to see, and then they also got to see what was on their heart. If Jesus would have automatically spoke and said something, we wouldn't have knew what was on their heart. It's that same way. I know because a situation, well, actually a lot of them, but I know a situation where I pretty much wasn't I was attending to stall, getting in contact with the person. Actually, it came out longer than I wanted it to be, and lo and behold, by it being longer, I actually got to see the person's true intentions. Now, I would never even knew they was like that if that time frame, like that extended period, I wouldn't even knew that they was that type of person. So the exact same way with Jesus, this scenario, if Jesus would have automatically spoke, like he knew what the disciples were gonna say, but he was just giving them time to say what they had to say. And then he had to, if you continue to read, he pretty much said, like, you got to keep on reading, but he pretty much, I ain't gonna say, well, he kind of like rebuked the disciples and healed the girl. But like I said, if Jesus didn't ignore it that particular time, that time span, then those disciples wouldn't have said what was actually on their heart. So by Jesus pretty much not saying anything, and he actually heard a lot. And that's another scenario too. Finally, I was trying to, you know how you try to overtalk the other individual? That's pretty much what's going on. And then it's like, I know now, at first I didn't know, but I know now it was God telling me, okay, you need to be quiet and listen. So many times we kind of like overtalk and try to be heard instead of actually just listening. Sometimes we just don't want to so-called listen or hear. Just hear what somebody got to say. Because sometimes it's good to hear, because you actually get to hear a person's heart. By me actually quieting up, shutting up, I actually got to hear the truth. But if I kept like over talking the person, regardless if they was being rude or whatever the case might be, by me actually quieting up and listening, I actually got to hear the truth. So what I'm saying to y'all is, stop always trying to feel like you gotta just always have something to say, or you gotta always over talk somebody. Listen. It doesn't matter if you gotta bite your tongue. It doesn't matter if you. And I'm saying because I like to say certain stuff. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, yeah, I like to open my mouth and say some things, but not righteous. But you know what I mean. But sometimes you gotta for your tongue. And by Jesus doing that, we got to see. Okay, yeah, I see why he did that. He wasn't being rude. Jesus do everything for a reason. Some things we might look at like, God, this don't make no sense. I know a lot of times with me, it's like, God, why is this going on? This don't make no sense. Like, why would you do something like this? And then, like, a little later on, I see, like, oh, yeah, that did make sense. So, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say regarding it, y'all. Make sure you like, make sure you share, and also make sure you subscribe to my channel. You have a blessed day.